morning. It's a bit windy up here, so I don't know how the sound's going to be. I figured it'd probably be the best to start with the fact that I've just been running all over the hotel, trying to see everything we could possibly see. Although this is the third time, technically, that I'm at the infinity pool. I actually woke up about 9, came up and swam, and then went back down, got changed, came back up, tried to go to the observation deck, found out that they weren't open until 11, which what kind of sucks about that is checkout time is normally 11. We asked for an extension, they gave us the extension on the checkout time, and then we went to the pathway that crosses through the middle of the hotel, which is really cool. Lynn's currently looking for a cache there, and good luck to her because I have no idea where it's at. Quick note though, everybody's talking about how the observation deck is in Tower 3, and mind you, you have to be a guest here in order to go there. So they're like, go to Tower 3 and go up to the observation deck. There's no reason to walk on the bottom to come up to the top, because you could quite clearly, oh here, I'll go down, walk across. It's an infinity pool that goes across the entire way. So no matter where you're at, it actually goes, so this pool right here goes across the entire roof. So technically, if I just walk from Tower 1 to Tower 3, I will get to the observation deck. Yeah. How's it going? Hello. Happy New Year, guys. And so, it's quite easy to just walk from one side to the other. There's plenty of lounges, and the spa is on the other side. I should say there's jacuzzi, not the spa. The spa is actually on the 55th floor, and you have to pay to use that. They also have a ton of towels, and every now and then they have towels right there. And every now and then, thank you, Happy New Year. Yep, thank you, Happy New Year. They have towels and robes available to you. I'm going to the observation deck right now, and I'll be there in just a second. It looks like Lynn is calling me, returning my call. And so I will check back in a moment, but I need to take this elevator to go to the observation deck. Be back in a moment. Alright, and here I am back at the observation deck. You have to go down one floor from 57 to 56. You do need to be a guest here in order to get in. They actually card you at the entrances of all of these places. So the view is quite amazing, but the main thing is I wasn't able to go up last night, and I want to go up this set of stairs in order to check out the highest point. So technically it's the 56th, and then you go to the 57th floor, I guess. Let's check out this view. I mean, the views from everywhere else have been spectacular, so I'm not gonna be surprised if the views are amazing here too. Anyhow, check back in a moment. Okay, and so it's been a little while since I last spoke to the camera. I think actually the last time I spoke to the camera, I was on the observation deck, which was amazing. It was great. Like, the views there were fantastic, and it was cool to see everything at night and then everything again at the day. And Marina Bay Sands really knocked it out of the park with just extending our checkout time to noon from 11, and doing items on just being super helpful to us and trying to get us to where we needed to go. Yeah, it was really, really nice to have that type of service. And then we went to a hawker stall, the Maxwell Hawker Stall. We'll be going to the Chinatown complex tomorrow, I believe. And something happened while we were at the hawker stall. Like, we got some great food. We got the Tian Tian Hainese chicken, which is super famous. We got a 3 meat on noodles dish, the crunchy pork, the duck, and char siu. And then we got some old coffee is what they call it. It's kind of similar, yeah, it's kind of similar to Vietnamese coffee. The one thing that I noticed was that she had this really long like can that she was pouring the coffee into and just kept pouring the coffee into. And it was a total different technique. I wasn't actually able to film or take any photos of it because I wasn't expecting it. And by the time I was the only one that ordered coffee, by the time I was like ready to go, she was already done. So that is unfortunate, but it is what it is. The coffee was really good. And then Lynn found, what drink did you find? You got another drink, right?
Rose syrup.
The rose syrup tea. Wasn't that last night? I thought you got another drink. Oh, Lynn went and got a second round of coffee. It was only $3 Singaporean for the 2 cups, so that was really inexpensive. We also went over to the old temple that's super famous here in Singapore and walked through it. I went first, actually, and was really impressed and told Lynn and Mom to actually just go ahead and go. And during that time, I went to go visit the tourism office, or the ticketing office rather, to get the tourist pass for the unlimited rides on the bus, MRT, and LRT. And we'll be using that for the next 2 days, so Saturday and Sunday, till we leave. And then that's kind of when I found out that my phone had 0 service. No internet, nothing. We were walking through the China market. What was it, Lynn? The visitors market or something like that? It was the market right next to Maxwell's hawker stalls. So it was fairly neat. The only thing I could say is that it did stink.
Yeah.
It did have some smells that are not appealing to, I would say, the majority of people. But if you're used to it, it's probably nothing too crazy. So after going to the market that was right next to the Maxwell's hawker stalls, we went to the Merlion, and we ended up just walking all the way from the Maxwell's stalls to the Merlion, and then taking photos there and kind of just enjoying ourselves. During this whole time, it was a 20-minute walk about. During the whole time of the walk, I was on the phone on and off with Starhub, which is the provider for my phone. And people are having trouble at the airport. I just plugged it in and it worked immediately, so I thought I just got lucky and left. It worked for a day, and then nothing. It just stopped. It didn't even work for a day. It wasn't even 24 hours, so it was less than 24 hours, and then it stopped working. And they kept telling me how to try to reset things, but it kept failing. And literally, like, over 10 phone calls later, it was just, okay, this is ridiculous. And you got the name?
Temple.
Oh, the
And
Buddhist
the
Tooth
visitor
Relic
center.
Temple is the place. So Lynn just looked it up. And so, I mean,
It's the temple that's associated with
yeah,
the market.
down here, there is the Chinatown Heritage Center. That's what it was. And that place was really cracking. It was raining, by the way, the entire time. We were just walking in the rain. And I was just super annoyed because I was able to call the hotline for help, but they weren't allowed, or they couldn't help me because they didn't know how. They had the wrong iOS instructions. They kept telling me how to fix an older phone, and although I wanted to fix my phone, it wasn't working at all. Like, it just didn't pick up, and all the buttons that they said should be there was not there. And then finally, after talking to like the 6th or 7th person, and I know I said I called about 10 times, it's because I got disconnected a few times. They actually called me back a few times. The problem that I saw was that they all gave the same answers until the last person, who was just like, hey, I can't help you. You need to go to a store and they'll help you. And so by this time, we walked from Chinatown to the Merlions, took the photos at the Merlions, and took photos of the Marina Bay Sands Hotel. And then we were walking back to the hotel, and it's kind of where I think, if quote unquote Singapore is considered for superior service, like, I personally feel that service is something that should be like good design. You don't notice it because you never need more help. And nobody seemed to understand how I needed to get helped here, particularly when I was like, my phone's not working, I need to get to a Starhub. Can you show me the closest one? And it was like, well, there are all these ones, and I'm like, okay, I'm going from point A to point B. Is there anything along that route? And they're like, well, there's a few. And I'm like, okay, can you just give me one and write down the directions? Because I literally have no internet, no cell phone service. And nobody seemed to get that. And they're like, well, why don't I just take a photo of the screen for you? And I'm just like, okay, well, once I get back to the Marina Bay Sands, at least the hotel lobby has free internet. And I could look it up, which is what I did, although it didn't really work all too well. It was easy enough in directions to go. We were coming towards Little India to get to this current hotel, which I'll do a room tour in a moment here. It was one of those things where there was so much time wasted. I literally spent like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, talking to various people trying to get my phone fixed. And what's funny is Lynn did her phone at the same time as me. Her phone's working fine. The biggest difference is that Starhub's a Malaysian company, and Lynn's using Singtel, which is a Singaporean company, I believe. And I should have just gone with 2 Singtel SIM cards. Testing, live and learn. I do not recommend Starhub whatsoever. I wonder if all those people that were standing in line behind me at the airport ever got their phones working. So that is pretty crazy in my opinion. Went to Starhub at the Bugis Center, I believe was what it was called. Bugis Center, and they were swamped there as well. So a lot of people with a lot of issues. And I went in, and I went to the cashier, told him exactly what was going on, said, hey, I need you to reset my APN. That's what the guys on the phone have told me. They don't know how to get there. And he's like, oh, are you a prepaid customer? I'm like, yes. And he's like, okay. And he did it in about 30 seconds. We were done. And I was like,
I thought we were going to be there longer.
I was super annoyed. I was happy that he was done so quick, but I was super annoyed at the fact that I spent 2 hours on the phone trying to go to just go to a store to get something done in 30 seconds. So stupid. Just next time, if it's not following what the procedures are, I think the appropriate thing would be like, okay, we could definitely try to figure this out, but at the same time, let me find a store for you that's close by to wherever you're at. Where are you? And I'll Google map it for you, and then we could lead you there. You're literally on the phone with help anyways. And so it's like, they couldn't do any of that. And the closest one that they were able to point me out to was like a half an hour away by car. That was just super unhelpful. Because we were always at the Bugis Center, we just went to a McDonald's that was there because we wanted to try some Singaporean McDonald's. And we got the Prosperity Burger, which is beef, and then the Prosperity Chicken Sandwich, as well as curly fries, a strawberry pie, a lychee soda, and then a caramel frappe. And that was probably the most normal thing that we got out of everything. And then Lynn, at the end, actually added on a lychee oolong ice cream, which was, in my opinion, really good. And the best thing that was on the set menu that we got was either the onion rings or the lychee soda. The burgers and the sandwich were just meh. We got 2 of the burgers and 1 of the chicken sandwiches. It was just overpoweringly pepper was the problem. All it tasted like was like kind of this weird pepper sauce that was on there, and nothing else kind of came through. It was kind of like they were trying to cover up a bad flavor. Not recommended. Wouldn't go back for it. I mean, I'm not against going back to try another, like, they also have fried chicken there, which I thought was like kind of neat. There's other things that we might be able to try as well, but that's probably our last real meal at McDonald's here. I think we're gonna stick to the like hawker stalls and stuff like that because there's just so much other good food here that we could eat. It doesn't make sense to go there. From there, we took a bus here to the Ibis Budget Imperial, and let's just go ahead and do the quick room tour at this time. All right, so this is our room change. We only were able to afford one night at the Marina Bay Sands, so now we are at the Ibis Budget Imperial here in room 302. And again, there's not much to show. We have our TV, a few coat hangers, the 2 beds, a queen and a single. And then I guess over here we have the luggage holder, a single desk, and then here's our lighting. Oh, I don't know if I actually showed the lighting control at the Marina Bay Sands. There was like 12 of them. Here we have a, simply you just pull the card out and you'll be fine. And then over here we have, oh, no more lights, never mind. We have the small fridge. I mean, I guess this is nice. We have a trash can, a charging station with some coffee cups, trying to get the way out of the light, a kettle, and then I have no idea what's up here. Oh, look at that. If the power goes out, we could reset it.
We can reset our own and 3 other rooms.
And then,
It's a wet room.
oh, it is a wet room, but you do have to turn the water heater on in order to get the hot water. Our bathroom. Oh, there's a step there.
It's a wet room.
And then here is the sink, our towels, toilet, and our shower. I guess, yeah, I mean, it works. But yeah, so that is everything, and let's go ahead and get back to the vlog. So, as you could see, quite humble in comparison to our Marina Bay Sands room, and the reason why we did it that way, the opposite, where we stayed here second and at the Marina Bay Sands first, rather than staying here first and at the Marina Bay second, was pricing. It was like $300 more for that single night at Marina Bay Sands if we stayed there. It was already $700. It was going to go up astronomically because it was the beginning of Chinese New Year's. And this room is $90 a night. So in comparison, it is a steal. We are all very tired now, and I think this is probably where I'm just going to call it for the night. And we'll see you in the morning, hopefully bright and early, on our way to Sentosa, depending on the weather. Anyhow, good night. We'll see you in the next vid.